So I'm going to say it. I'm going to put it out there, and then I'm going to make my case for it, admitting that this is a new area. I don't know much about the ecosystem. I don't know much about the community. It's been many, many years since I played Magic. What about digital Magic cards and moving the game into that arena to the point where you charge money for random digital cards backed by a signature? Okay, where am I going with this? This is kind of building on some recent videos. If you're familiar with a company called Games Workshop, I pushed up some ideas to my channel here under the mailbag playlist. We've been exploring and asking the questions. Games Workshop has this tremendously well-known IP, Warhammer 40,000, and a fantasy version, Age of Sigmar, but it's relatively new. It's gaining traction. It's only a few years in. But Warhammer 40,000, also known as AKA 40K, has been around, I think, like 30 years at this point. It's been around a long time. Very well established. It's a miniature-based game. And for that entire time, the money-making revenue stream for Games Workshop, the company that owns it, was physical miniatures. It was a physical game that you played with physical miniatures, tabletop battles. Similar to Magic, you sit down and you've got your cards to purchase. Now, Magic, from what I know with my friends and from what I remember back in the day, you've got your decks, but certainly you could trade cards. Certainly you could buy individual cards from a store or someone selling it. But for the most part, it's a blind buy. I buy some packs, and I'm sure someone's crunched down the numbers. Most likely they'll get these cards. I might get this card. If I buy this many of these cards, I'll probably get one of these cards, right? A blind box. Warhammer 40,000, you know what you're getting. You know what you're getting. So you buy a pack of Space Marines, you've got your pack of Space Marines. You can see the meta and know, okay, these units are good, these units not so good. How they get you to buy more, how Games Workshop gets you to buy more, they're constantly changing the rules. Constantly. Now, I know Magic shifts things in different seasons and they release new cards, but I don't think that, and I could be wrong, I don't think that's the primary mechanism to get you to buy more. The mechanism is whatever you are in the current game meta now, since you don't know what you're getting, you got to buy lots and lots of cards. And there is some fun to that. I remember back in the day buying Magic packs, back in the day playing Black and Red, and being like sitting there, looking at the pack, opening it up for the moment, and seeing that first card, and seeing the cards underneath and going through. So that's at least that was part of the allure and the hobby for me. Games Workshop gets you to buy more by changing the rules, making this unit good this time, but then this unit not so good, changing this, changing that, and constantly forcing you to dance and buy new stuff, whether you want to or not. These are both important business models, absolutely. But they're tied to physical. So what we've seen over time with Games Workshop to increase their revenue stream was this idea of, okay, change editions, change rules, FAQ it, update it, offer some limited release models that might have something good, create FOMO, create scarcity when there isn't. But over time, they've moved into digital content. And by digital content, I'm not talking about paying for a streaming service or paying for animations online, Warhammer Plus and other things. I'm talking about, I've got my physical book to play my army. You need the book with the rules to play the army, offering a digital version. And it's not out of convenience. Yes, it is more convenient to have digital, but it's not like, look, you can download the rules and the book for your army for free, or you can buy the regular copy because maybe you want a hardcover copy. And then for the truly hardcore fanboy, we're going to have some like Emperor approved, chapter approved collector's edition. So we're going to sell the base book for $30. We're going to sell the collector's edition for $100. If you want to download the rules, they're free. Or, look, $1.99, $2, $5, something to get digital. No, it's like almost full price for a digital copy. They've moved more and more, pushing more and more into digital. Because, yes, certainly you have to produce it and pay the artists, pay the creators, pay the proofreaders, but you don't have to ship it, you don't have to store it, you don't have to print it, you don't have to pay most taxes on it, and you don't have to create more. You create something once and you sell it. So from that perspective, we see them leaning more and more into the digital side of things. Now, Games Workshop is tied to physical, the models. There is an allure to them. There is a narrative to them. There's a physical product. But they are expanding more and more into video games, into digital content, into downloadable content, into multimedia. They're diversifying out there to the what I call the invisibles, meaning I have nothing physical, but I get you to pay me. Not that money is even remotely physical, but I'm getting you to give me something that's real, and in return, you get something that does not physically exist. I mean, it exists, but it does not physically exist. This is an attractive business model. So I'm looking at Magic and saying, what if now Magic might be too well established, too many cards out there, too many players out there. And you'll always have the physical, nothing stopping you from playing older. I mean, certainly if Magic ended right now at this moment and Warhammer ended right at this moment, there's plenty of stuff out there in the wild, plenty of stuff out there in the ecosystem that you can just play, right? You can play, you can do. But it wants to continue. What if Magic went digital? What if you had like your online portal? And, I was at the start of this video, I was thinking like, kind of be like, what if this replaced it? It doesn't have to replace it now that I think about it. Have a dual income stream. You have your digital cards. I can play digital on the apps. Now, I know there's some apps. I know I think it's some Steam supported stuff. I've seen that. But if I logged into my portal and I have my Magic wallet with cards that are keyed to just me, then I can use those. I can trade those. I can sell those. I can buy those. Maybe I buy a pack that doesn't even exist for $10 and I get a random assortment of cards and I move through that way. Imagine, I was just thinking the buying power of Magic, if that was digitalized and they could make the money without zero anything physical. Wow. And one of the things that got me thinking about this was just not knowing that much anymore about the game. Looking and seeing, I was playing a war game with a friend at the store that also, hosts card games and Magic and things like that. And a player comes in, I don't know the terminology, you'll excuse me, he buys these 4 bricks, these like just long bricks of Magic cards, sets. And he goes through, obviously looking for something, certain cards, all the cards that he doesn't want. I mean, maybe out of that size, he got like 3 or 4. All the cards that he doesn't want or doesn't need, he literally just left in the store. He's like, hey, here you guys go. And I'm looking and saying, okay, this is a hardcore player. It was worth the price of admission for him to play competitively, to spend that and just get those couple of cards. All the other ones, like, wow, he doesn't want. So if you just bypassed all of that and said, well, look, you want to buy, make it digital, I understand the allure to get those cards. It's just something where it's like, how has this model not completely evolved? And again, drawing parallels from what Games Workshop is trying to do, where Games Workshop is like, we're trying to do this, but we are physically bound to the models. Magic is bound to the cards, but do they have to be physical?